Oh, welcome to the madness. It is day 2. The audio should be better now. Okay, yesterday was levers, today is notes. What's a note? I know that if I play lower, it's lower, and if I play higher, it's higher. I have to explain these things to myself in like really simple ways, so just bear with me through that. I want to figure out the notes. So like, I guess starting at the beginning, why are some of these keys white and some of these keys black?
Okay, so I'm going to try to...
He said the answer is not so simple. I need it to be simple.
break this down for you. The simple answer is, if you have all white keys, it would be impossible to find any particular note. You'd have to go to the bottom and count all the way up.
So visual distinction is one. That's a good point. If all the keys were white, it'd be harder to tell them apart. That's pretty fun. I like that aspect of design.
The reality is, the distance between all notes in terms of pitch is identical, whether you go from a white key to a black key or a black...
Okay, guy said something important. The distance between all notes in terms of pitch is identical.
or a black key to a white key, they're all half steps apart.
Okay, sure, that makes sense. That can also explain why there are the number of keys that there are, right? Each key is a half step. Whether it's a white key or a black key, it's a half step apart, so. Presumably, if this is in tune, like this key and this key are a half step apart. What is a half? Okay. Whole, half, all of those measurements, the steps, are distances in between notes. So it looks like a whole step is a difference between a lower note and a higher note completely, and then a half step is halfway between those 2 points. Cool. All keys are equally spaced in terms of pitch. All keys are half steps apart. Half step represents the distance between 2 notes. How many notes are there?
You get next to it. The whole step is 2 half steps. It's important to note that this has...
A whole step is 2 half steps. Underwear goes inside the pants. Well, okay, this is so cool. So I want to point out at first that the best explanation that I'm getting about what notes are is coming from a Goodwill YouTube channel. I don't know why, but I don't care. That's awesome. Okay, we got to punch in. What appears to be happening is that the ABCs, we learned those when we were a kid, those break up the parts of speech they use symbols to break up the parts of speech into chunks that we can understand and then rearrange to make messages. We learn the letters A and R and T, and then we can make the word art or we can make the word tar, and we learn how to manipulate those over time and use them in fun and interesting ways to make pleasing sounds and coherent sentences and convey messages to people. Same thing is true with notes. These notes are just visual representations of the different sounds that we can make. And that explains some of the reason why you'll see people will talk about having perfect pitch, and they're hear a coffee cup crashing on the ground and be like, oh, that's in C sharp or whatever. That makes sense because the sound exists all around us, and the notes is the structure that we've placed on top of it to categorize and understand it. Okay.
Welcome to your first official music theory lesson. Today, we're going to talk
So I need to know music theory, I guess.
about the basic building blocks of all harmony, intervals. An interval is simply the distance between 2 notes. There are names...
Important vocab. Interval. The distance between 2 notes. I need flashcards. Hold on. We start at a note. The note is one of these representations of pitch or sound. Pitch might be a different thing. Let's just say sound. An interval, distance between two notes. Whole step and a half step are a type of interval. Half step, whole step.
Talking about this B flat.
The guy says that the half step is the shortest distance between two notes, which makes sense here on the piano because it's like that's the next key. Does a quarter step not exist? Can you not get more granular with it? Like on a different machine, like if they were add more strings, but maybe there's only a certain amount of meaningful like distinction between two notes. Like yes, you could build a machine that has, 800 steps in between A and B, but they're all going to be so similar to each other that if for us actually listening to and consuming music, a half step is all you really need to make meaningful sound. This is all human design. This is all just us arbitrarily categorizing stuff.
Half step.
I love it. Okay, I'm out of time, and I think that the next step is learning about like groups of notes and like a scale and an octave and all that. Maybe tomorrow. But let me draw up a quick summary real quick. Okay, so we started with why are there white and black keys? Seems to be visual distinction, and they're all half steps apart. There's probably other reasons. I don't know. I didn't finish the video. What's a step? A step is an interval. What's an interval? An interval is the distance between notes, and a note is a representation of a sound. Tomorrow is groups of notes. What's a scale? Why are some of them major and minor? Octave is a thing. I just want to define more terms. And then maybe I can play a scale or something. I don't know. Maybe not. More tomorrow. So essentially, what